Which takes us to our next segment, which is Commander to Citizen, a guide to helping elite commanders also enjoy Star Citizen. I want to address three questions, the three major questions about Star Citizen right up front, because they need to be addressed. Number one, is Star Citizen a scam? The answer to that question, quite blatantly and specifically, is no, it is not a scam. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't feel scammed by it. It is a situation where this project has gone on for a long ass time. They've said it would already be done. I completely understand people who say, I personally feel scammed by it. That is a completely defensible situation. That is a valid viewpoint which you can hold. However, to say that the entire project is by its nature a scam, here's how I can prove definitively that that is not the case. They took a massive amount of money in at the start. They started development. They are continuing to take money in every year. They are spending, because their financials get published every year, they are spending a little bit more every year than they take in, because they had a massive like $300 million sort of war fund to start off. If it was a scam, if I was a scammer and I took your $300 million and I wanted to be a scammer, I would close up shop and say, I'm out. I'm going to Barbados. Have fun. I'm going to find a place with no extradition. Let's do this. They're spending more money than they take in, which means they are slightly losing money every year. Why would you do that if it was a scam? You wouldn't. You would do that if it's a project that you want to release someday because you feel that you will actually be able to recoup monies on your investment. Okay, second question. Are Star Citizen ship sales pay to win, and are they predatory? Let's take those as two separate issues. Are they pay to win? No, because you can get everything that you pay cash for eventually 3 months later in a, what do you call it? In the next patch. Is it predatory? Absolutely it is. I do not defend it in any way. I think that it is bad. I think that if I had a company, I would not sell ships for cash. I do not defend it. However, I will point out that they are doing something unique and massive that has never been done before in a way that has never been done before. They have over 600 employees directly, plus 4 or 5 outside developers now. They're literally like, oh, we're hiring on with this company in Canada and this one in Austin and this one here and this one in Germany. And they're hiring people like, and they're saying, okay, you go make a bunch of planets. You go make this. You go make that. You go do this. All of this stuff costs a lot of money. So it has to come from somewhere. I don't like the idea of selling ships for cash. I think it's stupid, and I tell everybody, don't do it. But if there's a whale out there, if you've got some Saudi ballers that want to spend $40,000 on stupid big-ass ships, and as a result of that, it ends up funding your game to get made, to get finally completed because you've made this stupid, crazy, complex, beautiful, weird thing that is overrunning every budget you can imagine. I don't like it, but like, I'll live with it. Me personally, I'm not giving them any fucking money until the game comes out. You can buy the $45 package and never spend another penny on Star Citizen, and you won't be able to get the brand new ships on day one when it's a release. It's only people that use their credit card. But you will be able to get it 3 months later. Every quarter they release a patch. The stuff that you can only get for cash this month, 3 months later, you can get it for in-game credits. So if you're gonna let the whales pay for shit and you never come out of your pocket, in the end, doesn't really hurt all that much. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not trying to defend it. But it doesn't really hurt you unless you're the idiot that uses your credit card to buy ships. Don't do that. Juki, you had a point?
The whole Star Citizen paying to unlock ships, frankly, that can eat my asshole. That has kept me well away from Star Citizen.
I completely understand.
But I am genuinely tempted. I'm genuinely interested in the game itself. But like, let's be honest. You go on the website and it's like, hey, here's this amazing ship. It's only $300. And you're like, what the
Don't
fuck?
do it. Don't buy it.
What is this?
Don't buy it.
Why?
You can get it in 3 months for in-game funny money and never touch your credit card. Only one time
Exactly.
for $45. Don't buy any. Do not buy ships.
That whole in-game thing legitimately scares the shit out of me. Like, you see that and you're like, well, is this what I'm fighting against or what? But the thing that really, really genuinely interests me, as from a developer's perspective, is that Star Citizen's using Lumberyard, which is Crytek's engine, which is
Modified.
a whole legal thing, and yeah, it's a mess.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's been sorted. They settled that. That's all sorted.
They did.
Yes. Yep.
But the interesting thing is that they are iterating really fast, really, really quick. And it's interesting to see this kind of discrepancy between the Cobra engine, Cobra engine that FDev uses, which is all homegrown. Now, on the surface of it, it makes a lot of sense when you're doing something like this to have your own homegrown engine. But that introduces a lot of cruft, a lot of interesting problems, and actually kind of organizational problems, where it becomes a question of whether or not the people who understand the complex problems are still in the company, versus whether or not you have the engine to deal with it that is effectively somebody else's problem. Yep. And I've got to admit, from an outside perspective, even though like I looked at the sort of effectively pay to win shit that's in there, and kind of went, nah, I'm good. Right. The amount of iteration, the amount of progress that those guys have made is really quite impressive. And I'm getting more and more interested in the Star Citizen ecosystem, if you will. And I'm never going to pay to win. But as you say, you pay your $45 or whatever it is to get into the game, and you play enough that you go, okay, cool. But from what I've seen, they're doing really good things with it. And I'm interested how that's going to work out long term compared to Elite's strategy.
I don't like that thing. I will not try to defend that specific aspect. However, I will say this. They've hired a massive amount of people that are just cranking out content for one game. They have more people than than Frontier does altogether employed. And where Frontier is working on 12 different projects, 8 of which you know and 4 of which aren't released, that they're not talking about, where they just say in their forecast, an undisclosed future IP. Everyone that works at Star Citizen is working on Star Citizen. And I think that yes, Elite had a massive head start because they took some very smart shortcuts and were able to very shrewdly and very sensibly put out a product right away. Star Citizen is at the point now where it's catching up on Elite. And when you look at 100 employees that might be working on Elite versus 600 plus like 5 other development companies that are all working on Star Citizen, where do you think the weight is going to actually go out eventually? So yeah, it's crazy. The last thing, the question is, will Star Citizen ever come out? I feel like I just answered that. They are at the point now with 3.14 that is coming out in the next week or two. They have iCache in the system. Coming out with 3.16 at the end of the year, they should have server meshing. At that point, they have 2 of the 3 holy grail pillars of getting the thing done. Like, legitimately, it's at the point of being a real thing. Roy.
Something that has, I guess, become apparent to me in the last month, because I was also one of these people that was really put off by Star Citizen solely on this issue of buying ships and stuff. But since I've taken a break from Elite, I've really changed my perspective on how I judge other space games versus Elite. And I really think it comes down to, I'll use I don't know, maybe an awkward metaphor of monogamy versus polyamory. Elite was my forever game. That's the only game I played for like 14 months. And now that I'm taking a break from it, it's like my threshold of what I think is worth my time has changed. Like before, if I was in the middle of, I don't know, a big long expedition or turning the wheel or whatever, if I was going to play another game besides Elite, it had to beat Elite on every single point for point. Like there was always something that didn't match up. Now it's more like, Yeah, was Star Citizen ever going to come out? I don't know, but it's got enough game loops that it's keeping me happy for what I'm doing now, and I'm not playing Star Citizen every day obsessively like I used to play Elite. Same thing with No Man's Sky. I was going to put off, like Tweak said, by like the art, but then now there's got some features that look cool. I'm going to try it out. It's just a different concept now, where I'm just going to have a portfolio of things I play, and it really lowers the bar on what these things have to do to what previously would have taken to bust me out of Elite.
Absolutely. And Star Citizen does already have a VR mod that you can use to play full VR in Star Citizen. It is not the official, complete, put out whatever done one, but I have a friend who plays exclusively VR and says that it is a thing of beauty. Your mileage may vary. I can't comment on that myself. I can just tell you what a friend of mine said, because he plays in VR and I do not. So let's say there's a couple things now. The next question is, can my system run Star Citizen? I have a link to the specific thing that shows the requirements. They are not as bad as you think they are. There's also on that page a hyperlink to a test setup where you can click it, it'll run the testing, and it'll tell you here's how the frames you're going to see, here's this, here's that. It's well done. And the next question is, where do I start? I have a link in the show notes that will show you how to sign up. You can get the $45 package. You can also use my referral code, which will give you some free money to start off with. And then it changes depending on when you hear this and when you apply. Sometimes they normally give you a couple of free bucks, like 10,000, 5,000, whatever extra dollars to start in game. And it gives you for this next quarter, it's going to give you this little speeder bike. It's like a legit, a speeder bike from Endor where you're flying around. Or it's a golf cart looking one. Or it's a little this or it's a little that. It gives you a thing. It changes from time to time. Now, the next question is, what do you buy? You can start off with basically a couple of sort of choices. The first is, if you want to go with the plain, no extra fighter start, if you want to start by doing combat missions, you want to buy the Mustang. It's the best of the two starter ships for that. The second is, if you say, well, I kind of want to do more general box hauler missions, you want the Aurora. It's the best ship for that. And then the third, and I'm going to say this is a caveat, this is the only time when I will ever say maybe it's worth it. You might, it's entirely your choice, want to up $20 to start off with the $65 package, which can get you the Avenger Titan. It is a better combat ship than the Mustang. It is a better little box hauler ship than the Aurora. It is an awesome little ship. You do not need to do that. But it's the only time where I will say, that's your choice. If you want to start by upgrading to the Titan, it gives you just kind of a little bit of, it gives you the ability to start off the game at the very starter package going either which way. After you spend that $20 on the Titan, if you choose that, do not ever spend another penny on a ship until after they release the game. I feel, and this is my advice, you do whatever you want, you do you. But my advice is, and I don't judge other people that spend money on ships, that's your choice. You do what you want with your money. I'm not your father. But me personally, I'm not giving them money until they release a product. Once they release a product, if they like it, I've spent $400 on ARCs in Elite Dangerous, because when they put out this product and I liked it, I said, here, I'm going to give you, I bought $100 worth of ARCs, and then I bought a bunch of Midnight Black paint jobs, because I vote with my dollars. If I like the work that you put out, I will pay you money as a attaboy. I'm not paying them money as an attaboy until they actually release the product. And then I'll decide. Maybe if I like the stuff, I'll pay whatever. I'll put $100 in and buy some paint jobs or buy a ship kit or buy a whatever, because that's me saying, good work, here's your little reward. Have a cookie. I wouldn't give them cookies until they release a product. That's your choice. Once you start, and we're going to go through this way heavy, but I just want to run through this really super fast. Once you start, you're going to want to go to a refinery station and buy a cold suit and a hot suit. The Nabokov is the cold suit. The Pembroke is the hot suit. We're going to go in detail on this next week. Hand tool you want to buy so that you can do a little hand mining, and you need the mining attachment for the hand tool. Buy yourself a couple of meal bars and bottles of water, and then set out on the universe. You want to do a couple of box delivery missions to sort of just familiarize yourself with simple flight, map usage, takeoff and landing. You don't get money for doing, I mean, you get money, but it's shit money. And oh, I just want to clarify, when I say buy the cold suit and the hot suit and the hand tool, these are all things you buy with in-game credits. You're not buying them with cash. You're buying them with funny money in-game cash. The box missions that you do, they pay shit, but that's not the point. The point is get used to taking off and landing and using the map and flying around. It's just sort of like an intro. Do a couple of search missions for missing miners if you want to start off on that, because that'll send you to a cave, and then you go in the cave, and while you're there, you search for rocks and you mine stuff, and then you'll find a dead miner and you return the mission, whatever. But more importantly, it'll send you to caves where you can mine stuff and make some cash. Do a couple of beginner bounty hunting missions if you want to do the combat side and familiarize yourself with combat. That can actually pay really good money right now, so that's also a good generator of revenue. And again, we will go into much greater detail on that, but I wanted to sort of first hit the whole, like, is it a scam? What about buying ships? Like, yes, you can buy ships. Don't do it. Whatever. Roy, you've got something, and then we're moving on to the next thing.
Yeah, one thing I would just add, because it was a whole lot more fun than I thought it would be, is break the law and get sent to prison. Prison's a hoot. That's all I'm going to say. It's just a fun thing, and it's really awesome how they've programmed it.
Yeah, and I'm seeing somebody saying, does Star Citizen have full flight assist off? It absolutely does. Elite Dangerous has two choices, flight assist on or flight assist off. Star Citizen has a gradient, so you can literally like tune it down to where it's super strong flight assist on, or like half flight assist on, or 3/4 flight assist on. You can turn that knob all the way down to 0, so it's 0 flight assist, full Newtonian physics. That is a thing you can do.